When we talk about long-term food storage, we often talk about, beans and rice and canned goods. But there's something we often overlook, and that is fats and oils. And fats matter. They help us cook, they give added flavor, and of course, added calories. And in one way, they can make the difference between having ingredients in your pantry and having actual meals in your pantry. So today I want to talk about fats from a practical prepper view. We're going to talk about fats and oils. Well, why do they go bad? How long do they last? What should you do if you open them? Is storage the same? So what's the best way to store these fats and oils so they're on your prepper shelves when you need them? And later in this video, I'll talk about some hidden sources of fat that I bet you already have in your prepper pantry. So let's get started. Now for everyday life, I think we worry about, what fat or oil is the healthiest for us? But when you're looking from a prepper point of view, you may be looking for the fat or oil that has the longest shelf life. Because in a long-term emergency, you might not be worrying about cholesterol. So unfortunately, fats and oils can go bad. They can go rancid. And that's because of oxidation. There's 4 enemies of fats and oils, which is enemies of many stored items in your pantry: heat, air, light, and time. So how do you know if something's went rancid? Well, you're not using your eyes for this. It isn't like bread where you see mold or milk where you see it curdle. In this case, you gotta use your nose. Right, it's by smell. And some people say it smells like crayons, wax crayons. Others say a musty paint-like smell. Whatever it is a strange smell. And you'll know it when you smell it because it's different than what it usually smells like. So, of course, you could also use taste because, yes, it will taste funny. Now, using rancid oil in something you're cooking, like your baked goods or you're frying up meat, that won't give you food poisoning. But it will make these items taste off and maybe ruin your meal. I do have to mention, one of the things where people very often store their olive oil or their cooking oil of choice is in a pretty clear container right next to their stove. Now that's not a good idea because remember what I told you? Heat and light. So that shouldn't be done unless you're just using it for a short period of time. Now, my mom, she always stored her bacon grease in a coffee container right next to the stove. And she made my dad a full breakfast with bacon and all the fixings every morning. So she had a lot of bacon grease. She used it for cooking and she was rotating it a lot. So I only remember actually, I think once when she said, "This smells funny, I'm throwing it away." And she started a new coffee can. So it might work for you, but it depends on how often you use it and what is the temperature in your kitchen. So maybe you can keep it right next to your stove, but why not keep it in your refrigerator instead? That's what I do. Now, one of the things preppers often do is buy in large quantities. Maybe you buy your oil like this, right? You get it at Costco or Sam's Club. But I'm telling you, that's not a good idea. Maybe you need this much oil if you're, making a turkey, one of those deep fried turkeys out in your backyard. But otherwise, this can go bad really quickly. It is better to buy oil in smaller quantities. You can buy multiple bottles, but just not this big. And then once you open it, well, you've shortened its shelf life. Now, some oils, well, they're more delicate than others. You know, think of walnut oil, grapeseed oil, sesame oil, what I call the specialty oils. Do I have them in my pantry? Well, yes, I do. But I buy the smaller bottles because I don't use them as often. And when I do open them, I store them in my refrigerator just for safekeeping. That will extend their shelf life a little longer. So I don't buy a big bottle like this. But you know, those small bottles, well, they can add a real flavor boost to maybe the Asian dishes I'm cooking. So yes, I do have them in my pantry. What am I saying with the specialty oils? Well, buy a smaller bottle, keep it tightly closed, store it in someplace cool and dark, and you may want to refrigerate it after you open it. And rotate, rotate, rotate. So you never have that, oh, what's that smell, right? Rancid oil. So there always is that discussion about what is the healthiest oil. You know, is it olive oil or is it coconut oil? What is it? Well, for me, I do the olive oil. I don't particularly like the coconut oil as much. I think sometimes it adds an unwanted flavor, but that's completely up to you. But when I'm thinking more of my prepper pantry, more longer term, well, I think of my bacon grease because I can replenish it every time I cook some bacon. And it keeps for me for a long, long time. In fact, I probably could even freeze it, although I've never done it. And you know, you can also have Crisco, right? Or lard or beef tallow. All of those. Again, you can keep them on your pantry shelves, but you can also freeze them for longer storage. But nothing lasts forever as far as fats and oils go. You might say, well, what about butter? Well, I keep butter in my freezer and only take it out when I use it. And it really keeps a lot longer than they say. Again, that is a choice that you can make. And you could also get powdered butter, but again, I mean, if you have to, I guess that's fine, but I just don't think the taste is really there. Talking about butter, I used to buy some of that red feather butter in a can, and I think it says it has 2 years, but people have opened it 10 years or more and the butter was fine. But I'm not going for long term for my pantry anymore. To me, 5 years and rotating is what I'm going for. So I'm not buying something really expensive like the red feather butter. But I understand it tastes great and it does last a long time without needing refrigeration. So which of these oils last longer? Well, anything in more of a firm type of consistency, like ghee, or your coconut oil, or your shortening, or your bacon grease, your lard or tallow, they are going to last a bit longer than your oils. Now I am going to mention, if you do freeze fats, you may want to freeze them in ice cube containers, right? So you have individual portions, and then you can just take it out of your freezer and use it rather than defrosting an entire jug of lard. I think that's the way to go. The main thing to remember also is open is different than unopened when we're talking storage. Once you open a bottle or a can, well, air can get in, and that can cause oxidation, which means shelf life won't be as long and it will go rancid quicker. And you might say, well, why does fat matter? Well, depending on a survival situation, it does. You probably heard of what they call rabbit starvation or protein poisoning. People actually died or got quite sick if they were just depending on, let's say, a very lean animal like rabbits to eat constantly because they weren't getting the fat their body needed. So yes, even though we keep hearing fats are bad, oh, worry about your cholesterol. you do need some fat in your diet. So you also need some in your prepper pantry. You might not have to store extra of these because you probably have as much fat as you need for your diet already in your prepper pantry. I mean, think of something like Spam, right? Well, I'm sure it has a very high fat content. Does it say here? Let's see. Yeah, total fat, 21%. That will definitely meet your needs. And you might also have peanut butter, but again, peanut butter only keeps so long on your shelf without going rancid. The same for Nutella. And honestly, this never lasts on my shelf anyway because the grandkids just absolutely love it. And you might have stored nuts. Again, they can eventually go rancid. I keep them in my freezer, and that way I don't have to worry about it. But they are also a source of fat. And of course, you can have it from your tuna. Now, a lot of us get it in water because it's healthier, right? But if you get it in oil, well then you might even have a little cooking oil to use. And of course, if you keep powdered milk the way I do, that can be a source of fat. Well, if you keep the right kind. This is dry whole milk. I really like it. It really dissolves quickly, but it's a great source of fat. Does it have it on here? Total fat is 12%. So you want to get the whole milk though. And you can also get canned milk, another good source of fat in your prepper pantry. Oh, and one more thing which I don't have, because I'd probably eat them, is chocolate chips, right? That also has fat. So here's the takeaway. Fats and oils matter in our diet, but there isn't just one perfect oil. In fact, I recommend keeping a variety of fats and oils in your pantry or in your refrigerator or in your freezer. But they don't all store in the same way. And I'm not going to give you, oh, this one will go for 18 months, this will go for 2 years, because so much of it depends on the temp of the storage, the amount of light it gets, even the amount of humidity. There's a lot of things going on. So what works for me may not work for you. But remember, don't buy things in large quantity. And if we're talking about specialty oils, this is even too large a quantity. Get the smaller bottles, and once they're open, put in the refrigerator. And think about using your refrigerator and your freezer for a longer term storage. But remember, these hidden fats like, well, peanut butter, it can go rancid too. So make sure you're rotating. I would love to hear, what are the fats and oils that you keep, and where do you keep them? In your pantry, in your refrigerator, in your freezer? Comment below and say where you live, because maybe if you live in a desert area, it's really different than where I live in Michigan, which in the summer it can get pretty hot and high humidity. So that can affect storage. So please comment below, because we all learn from each other. Thank you.